Now at 7 o'clock, Portland's newest homeless shelter vandalized before today's grand opening. Coming up here, we're going to have a live report from Thomas Schultz, Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz in the Pearl District with the latest.
Plus, the Oregon special session continues with the Senate meeting again later this morning after the House passed the transportation funding bill yesterday. We'll hear from the two lawmakers who voted against party lines. And
I start with my heels low and my head down. I high knees and I finish strong and lean.
This 9-year-old is awesome. He's from Wilsonville, and he has a chance to win Sports Illustrated's National Youth Athlete of the Year. That prize, by the way, comes with a $25,000 payday. We're going to hear more from him coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise.
good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We have a couple of fast cats with us here as well. Chris McGinnis, he's a fast one. Rod Hill.
I'm quick, not fast.
Yeah,
Quick.
I know. Quick. There's a difference, but it's still cool to be quick.
Sneaky quick. See that? Quick.
Cat like quick.
Here's our reserve. Oh, I'm tired. Here's our reserve vineyards and golf club camera out in the low. I've been showing you the rising sun. It's going to be a sunny day overall. I mean, it depends on where you are in terms of how much cloudiness you have. That's mainly clear out there in Washington County, 61 degrees. Here's one of the cloudier looks. This is Persimmon Golf Club out in Gresham. This is looking off to the east, but it'll be a sunny day, and there's some brightness from the Pioneer Park building downtown Portland looking out. Temperature out at PDX is 61 degrees. This generally a sunny day and generally a day that gets us right back to hot weather. 75 degrees at noon, and we'll be right about 90 this afternoon. Now here's the guy who is fast. Chris McGinnis.
Was fast. Was fast. You know what? The good news is your drive is actually pretty quick this morning, at least so far. We've got the normal slow spots out there. Highway 26, little slow and go action there at the Sylvan Hill. This is live right now near Skyline Boulevard. That total trip to get in from Hillsborough is up to about 20 minutes at last check. 17 minutes, excuse me. So that's not so bad. 20 minutes gets you in from Troutdale. And switching gears and I lost the camera. Sorry for that. But the I-5 drive from Clark County is slow and steady at the Interstate Bridge. 16 minutes now gets you in from Main Street south to I-405. True, China?
Thank you, Chris. Our top story here at 7. A controversial homeless shelter is set to open today in the Pearl District. For a month, some local residents have pushed back against the plan.
In fact, over the holiday weekend, the building was tagged with graffiti messages, some of them specifically targeting Portland Mayor Keith Wilson. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is live outside the shelter right there at Northwest 15th and Northrop. So, Thomas, we know it's opening today. Are you seeing any activity outside the shelter?
Yeah, we are, guys. We're actually seeing graffiti cleanup removal crews who are here power washing the sidewalks all around us on both sides of the street. They were also here yesterday cleaning up some of the graffiti. If we pan over here, you can see that gray markers along the walls of the building. That was painted yesterday to clean up graffiti. I want to show you what that looked like. It said things like, "You don't listen," "No shelter," and "Mayor plus Vanessa equals ruined lives." Just some of the quotes from that graffiti over Labor Day weekend. The building is owned by Vanessa Sturgeon of Sturgeon Development. By Monday afternoon, again, that graffiti was painted over. Still, discontentment continues to rise for the shelter, which is part of Mayor Keith Wilson's plan to open 1,500 new shelter beds by December 1st.
I think everybody wants a solution that works, you know. The concern is that we've lived through this for the last couple of years, and we understand this is going to concentrate the problem in a new way that's going to be devastating for this part of the neighborhood. We've already had businesses that have closed up shop.
We reached out to Mayor Wilson's office to get his response to the graffiti. His office told us the mayor does not have a comment. Still, the shelter, again, opens today, about 40 beds. By the end of the month, they're thinking they'll have around 100 beds open. And this is a place and facility that's pretty large here in the Pearl District. Eventually, they expect it to be able to shelter 200 people. It'll be open from 8 at night to 6 in the morning. The city also says that with this shelter opening, it plans to circumvent some of those tents, RVs, cars where people may be living out of, and try to, instead of letting those camps grow, try to condense them and instead bring people to shelter beds like the ones that'll be behind us. Still, neighbors that we've spoken to over the past couple of days, really past few months here in the Pearl District, are not convinced that that's good enough. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz with the latest for us there live in the Pearl. A new transportation funding bill is in the hands of the Oregon Senate after state lawmakers in the House passed the plan with a 36-12 vote on Monday.
Now, 2 lawmakers went against the grain in this vote, with a Republican voting in favor of the bill and a Democrat voting against it. KGW's Alma McCarty spoke to both about their votes.
That I declare that the special session of the 83rd Legislative Assembly is adjourned sine die.
Before the transportation bill secured the 36 votes needed to pass the House of Representatives and head over to the Senate for consideration, 2 legislators broke ranks Labor Day when casting their vote this special session.
Spent countless hours figuring it out.
I was really honest up front that this is where my vote was going to land.
Representative Anessa Hartman, a Democrat over Gladstone and Oregon City, voted no, while Representative Cyrus Javity, a Republican covering Clatsop and Tillamook counties, voted yes. Neither lawmaker came to their decision lightly. Hartman says her Clackamas County constituents were fed up with ODOT.
It sort of came off as just the mismanagement of funds. Why is the answer always that we need to give more money rather than saying, okay, where are we spending that money and are we doing it efficiently?
In addition to more accountability, Hartman told KGW she hoped for more public input on this package, citing the financial burden on working families.
My real hope is, as I said on the floor, and my expectation is that we will continue to have robust conversations that are exponentially more transparent than they have been.
There are a lot of people in Oregon that don't like taxes, and I'm one of them, and I don't think anybody does, really.
Despite that, Javity says he voted for the bill, consisting of a gas tax increase plus an increase in fees because Oregon can't afford not to pass it.
And we're a big state and with a lot of miles to cover. And the option of not having any maintenance available to make sure the roads are plowed, rock slides are cleared, just wasn't really an option.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. The Senate reconvenes later this morning at 9 a.m. and we've heard that senators plan to vote on the transportation bill tomorrow. If it passes, Republican Christine Drazen has promised that she'll refer the tax increases to the ballot for a statewide vote. Meantime, several community groups also held a rally at Northeast Portland's Glen Haven Park to protest the Trump administration's immigration policies. The Oregon Rising Alliance organized the event and partnered with several community organizations to call for better schools, more affordable living, and immigrant rights. Here's the president of Portland Association of Teachers.
Regardless of whether you have students in the public school system, if you're a part of a union, we know that we cannot win alone on these big issues. We have to come together. And so this rally is just another action we take as part of Oregon Rising as an alliance to say that we got each other's backs.
After the rally, people joined a bus caravan to the ICE detention facility in Tacoma to join a protest demanding the facility be shut down. 2 lawmakers in Oregon are pushing to ban masked law enforcement, including immigration officers. Tillamook Republican Cyrus Javity and Salem Democrat Tom Anderson want to put a constitutional amendment on next year's ballot. The proposal will require officers to show their faces and to wear official uniforms with badge numbers and names. The rule would not apply to SWAT teams or undercover police.
All right, parking in Portland will get more expensive today. That's because starting today, pay-to-park hours will extend until 10 o'clock at night on streets in downtown, in Old Town, and in the Pearl District. A new 5 after 5 rule will also start today in some parts of the city. 5 after 5 means that people can park in one spot for up to 5 hours starting at 5 p.m. This applies to downtown, the Central East Side, and in the Lloyd District.
All right, your time now is 7:08. Rod Hill, you've been talking about 90s.
Yeah. Back, the heat. We have advisories and warnings for hot weather. In fact, out in the Columbia River Gorge today, where temperatures will near 100 potentially in Hood River and are expected to reach 100 and maybe slightly above out in Wasco County, including you folks in the Dalles. Portland, back up to about 90. It was only 78 yesterday. It's just a rapid heat up, if you will. Right now, 61. You can see the bright sunny start over downtown. So the bus stop has nothing but sun on it for the most part. 75 degrees outdoor lunchtime recess. Kids get out of school, though. We'll be nearing 90 degrees. So have that, lightweight summer clothing on as you get ready to go out and get the day. All right, temperatures. Mostly 50s on this map. It's 61 in Scappoose and 60 in downtown, but 56 out in Sherwood, 54 in Dallas this morning. Good morning to you. It's mid-50s in Kaiser and 59 degrees in Salem. Here's the weather map later today. It's all dry today and for the most part all heating up. We've got sunshine, 60s and 70s at the coast, right about 90 from Portland down into Eugene. There's the 100 in the Dalles, and then upper 90s across parts of central and eastern Oregon today as well. Our 7-day forecast. Within a degree or two, it's potentially the fact that we will hit 90 today, be near 90 tomorrow, hit 90 again on Thursday. Now, we have a thunderstorm threat for spotty development potentially at some point tomorrow in the forecast. And then starting Friday, shower chances come back, but cooling weather with that. 82 Friday, 77 Saturday. Right now, I show a dry Sunday. And another shower threat on Monday with a high of 76 degrees. Again, 3 days of kind of hot weather to get through, it appears. Here's Chris.
A little toasty for the first couple days of September. All right, let's get you out the door and heads up in Skamania County near the Hamilton Creek Bridge on SR 14. Washed out doing some road maintenance here. So they're going to alternate one single lane through the work zone here from 8 to 3:30. So expect some delays out there as they work on that bridge crossing. All right, back to the interstate bridge. I-5 southbound traffic, of course, slow and go right now out of Clark County. That's normal for this hour of a Tuesday morning drive. We're coming up on nearly 20 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. And over on the east side, there's the Banfield, westbound I-84, slow and steady underneath the TriMet overhead max tracks there and coming in from 205. At last check, now we're pretty close to 20 minutes to get you from Troutdale to the I-5 split. China?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, a 9-year-old busy breaking world records, competing for a national award, and how you can help him reach the finish line coming up when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, a 9-year-old from Wilsonville, that young man right behind China and I, has been busy this summer breaking records and raking in medals, and now he's chasing down a national award that happens to come with a $25,000 payday.
And wait till you hear what he wants to do with that $25,000 reward. Catherine Cook shows you how you can help him reach the finish line in first place.
Grant Broussard likes to run fast.
I just feel like the wind blowing on my ears.
The 9-year-old from Wilsonville just wrapped his second track season and added more hardware to his impressive track record. In July, he won the 100-meter dash in the USA Track and Field Regionals in Spokane. His time of 13.55 seconds, an all-time meet record for 9-year-olds.
I am so proud, you can't imagine.
Grant's dad and coach, Kirk Broussard, says Grant's work ethic and attitude are big reasons he's improved so quickly.
Grant is beyond his years when it comes to his technique.
I start with my heels low and my head down. I high knees and I finish strong and lean.
That win in Spokane qualified Grant for the national championships, but he skipped that this summer to focus on other sports. Next year, he hopes to win it all.
And Grant has a strong chance of making it happen.
And there's something else. Grant is in the running for Sports Illustrated's Youth Athlete of the Year. Voting to make the next round ends Thursday night, and right now Grant's in third place in his group. Top prize is $25,000, and he knows just what he'd do with it.
Maybe put it in the stock market.
He's used to investing in his future.
Each practice is a deposit to get to where we want to get ultimately in life and in track. So I feel like the kid deserves it.
Win or lose, Grant will end this contest like he does all of those on the track.
I say good race and good job to them.
In Wilsonville, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And if you want to vote for Grant, just head to Catherine's story on KGW.com and look for that link.
So we need to vote to make this Athlete of the Year thing go? Is that, I kind of miss, but anyway, we need to vote, so bottom line.
Yes,
vote.
And I think the last we checked, he was in third place. So, you know, the voting is going to decide this.
Okay.
So he's in third. I mean, he could win it,
Yes.
but he's going to need some help.
It's up to us.
All right, well, let's go vote. Yeah, I like him.
Do it.
He's a winner. All right, here's a look at our outlook for September. This is from the Weather Service. These come out every month. I don't always show them. In fact, I don't show them that often, but this one caught my attention because of the green. We're in the above normal rain projection from NOAA for the month of September, Western Oregon and Western Washington. What does that mean? Well, a normal September would give us about 1.5 inches of total rain, so it would mean that we would get more than that if the projection comes true. August was above normal, and if you go all the way back to June, this summer, in fact, will be remembered in the record book as a fairly wet summer. Now, keep in mind, we're so dry in the summer, there's not much difference for us. There's just not in a wet summer and a dry summer because the numbers are pretty minute no matter how you shake them out. All right, temperature projection for Oregon and Washington for this month. No confidence to project it either way from our friends at NOAA and the Weather Service. Okay, we have a dry day. We're dry right now. Some cloudiness along the coast. Futurecast at 5 o'clock shows everybody's dry, but there is moisture that starts to come up from our south overnight tonight. And then by the time we get to tomorrow evening, this shows some storms that pop up tomorrow evening or late day through Deschutes County and then near Mount Hood. There's a potential thunderstorm tomorrow evening. So tomorrow is the day that the moisture flow starts to come up from the south and starts to bend back into our area. Now that's what happened last week, when we couldn't time anything out and we couldn't pinpoint anything, but we could tell you we had ongoing chances of scattered storms, and we had, 3 days that had some scattered storms in the area. So we'll see if the Willamette Valley gets something tomorrow or not. There's another chance, it looks to me like, on Friday, and then another chance going into Saturday. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. You folks, one of our headline cities, because of the hot weather you expect to have this afternoon. Right now, 61. You have a heat warning that goes up this afternoon and extends into Thursday for temperatures generally near 100 degrees through that time frame. And again, there's not much of any wind with any of this. Here's the camera over Providence Park. You can tell the sun is hitting the West Hills there in the backdrop pretty good. 60 degrees is the early number. This will be a mostly sunny day. 53 down in Eugene currently. That matches Astoria. It's 57 over in Bend. 45 out in Burns, a cool spot. The coast right now partly cloudy, expecting a good bit of sunshine today, 60s and 70s, light winds as well. And then the gorge with the heat advisory and heat warnings in play, 99 in Hood River and 101 today projected in the Dalles. And the valley, most of us will be either just getting to 90 or a little bit better, or maybe stalling at 88 or 89. I've got Portland at 90. The spotty storm chance tomorrow, 90 on Thursday, and then a cool down with shower chances Friday and then into the weekend on Saturday. And weekend temps right now show up in the 70s, by the way, so that sounds good. And here is Chris.
Rod, now that we're into the 7 o'clock hour, the drive really starting to heat up a bit. You're inbound Sunset, nearly 20 minutes to get in from Hillsborough. Interstate 84 coming in from Troutdale, nearly 22 minutes at last check. This is the big slow spot, by the way, on the Banfield, and this is typical for this hour of a Tuesday morning drive. So for perspective, those are the max tracks that go overhead there. There's the I-205 South on-ramp to 84 westbound. And, of course, everything is slow and steady from there the rest of the way into downtown. I-5 from Wilsonville, again, getting busier, but no major issues on that side of town. And I think door number 3 is going to take us up to, no, that's back out to the Banfield. I want to show you the Clark County commute because that, too, is growing nearly 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. Drew?
Thank you, Chris. Jeez. Have you seen this video yet? That's reality TV star Taylor Williams at a rodeo in Arizona. His horse trips over, falls on top of him. More on what happened to Williams and other national headlines when Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, Congress is back in session in Washington, D.C. today after an August recess. Lawmakers are expected to hear testimony at some point this week from Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. NBC's Alice Barr has more for us from the nation's capital.
With cold and flu season bearing down and COVID cases rising, a shakeup in leadership at the CDC, and new restrictive guidelines, drawing confusion about who can get the COVID vaccine. President Trump now weighing in, urging companies to justify the success of their various COVID drugs, to, quote, clear up this mess one way or the other, appearing to call into question the effectiveness of the vaccines initially developed during his first term in a fast-track process he's long praised.
Operation Warp Speed, people say, is one of the greatest achievements ever.
That as 9 former heads of the CDC slammed Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in a New York Times op-ed, saying he's, quote, endangering every American's health, and sharply criticizing his firing of CDC Director Dr. Susan Manares, who they say refused to, quote, rubber stamp dangerous and unfounded vaccine recommendations. 4 other top CDC leaders resigned in protest over the firing, one speaking out on NBC's Meet the Press.
There is now an irresistible force that is going to make it impossible for CDC to maintain the validity of its science against ideology.
Lawmakers back in Washington today preparing to press RFK Jr. for answers in a hearing Thursday.
This is contrary to what the Secretary said he was going to do, which was follow basic science.
I don't see him ignoring the science. I see him asking the hard questions.
A high-stakes battle raising serious questions for the nation's public health. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, here's a look at some other national and world headlines with your morning rush. President Trump may send federal troops to Chicago after a violent Labor Day weekend in the Windy City where at least 54 people were shot. 2 of them died. Last month, the president ordered National Guard troops to help with police work in Washington, D.C., but Chicago's mayor is pushing back on that happening in his city, signing an order that blocks Chicago police from working with federal officers. In Afghanistan, 900 people died and another 3,000 are injured after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake near the Pakistan border. Rough terrain is making rescue missions and aid distribution extremely challenging. The Taliban government has appealed for international help, and the UK has already pledged to give more than $1 million in emergency funds to multiple humanitarian agencies, but not to the Taliban government, which the UK does not recognize. We have no winner. We have no Powerball winner, and that means we all still have a chance to win what is now a $1 billion-plus jackpot. After no tickets matched the 6 numbers drawn last night, the jackpot is up to $1.3 billion. The next drawing is Wednesday night. And take a look at this video from a rodeo in Arizona. It shows the moments that a horse tripped and fell on top of Love Island contestant Taylor Williams. Here you see Williams being tended to by crews. He was competing in the Arizona Invitational Black Rodeo in Scottsdale. The good news is he did get up and was later spotted, although he did have his sling around his arm. And that's a look at your morning rush.
We're not getting the help we need. We're not getting the pay we deserve. We're not getting the safety precautions we need.
Coming up in our next half hour, still no school for kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District. The worker strike in that district continues on. We'll have all the latest for you again at 7:30. And we'll also talking about what the state of Washington is doing to prevent wrong-way driver collisions. That story on the way when the Sunrise Show continues after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive, and so far, mostly so good out there. No major freeway trouble out there, but of course, we've got our normal slow spots. That's the live look at SR 14 at a Clark County I-5, of course. Slow and steady gets you in from Main Street, just shy of 20 minutes now, down to the Fremont Bridge, and a quick check of the trip out of Wilsonville. All 3 lanes thick coming over the Boone Bridge, but that's also pretty normal. Right now, your inbound drive from Wilsonville is up to about 25 minutes at last check. Rod?
Not bad for a back-to-work Tuesday. Thank you, Chris. We have a beautiful day coming, but it will become hot this afternoon. Cameras show sun. Here's Salem. Good morning to you. Current temperature 59 degrees. Notice the winds are light. They will stay that way again. Downtown Portland illuminated by the early morning sunshine. 61 degrees. Also a light wind. So this morning's great. Noon's great. 75 degrees. And then we get hot. A big warm up later today, all the way to around 90 degrees. And we'll be close to 90 potentially all the way through Thursday. There's a spotty storm chance in the valley tomorrow. More scattered rain chances Friday and Saturday.
7:30 half hour on a Tuesday morning. This is one of our newest sky cams. This is over in Vancouver. Great shot of the interstate bridge there along the waterfront, downtown Vancouver. A lovely shot to start your Tuesday morning. What do we say to all of our trusty viewers over there in Clark County this morning?
Ooh, make this good, China.
Good morning. Isn't that shot so pretty? What?
My golf buddies just heard that. You said hi to my golf buddies. Thank you very much.
And I hope you win the game you play next.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Speaking of Rod, let's get to the weather.
All right, let's do it. Nice sunny day, but again, a hot afternoon. And keep in mind, yesterday for Portland was only 78. Today we're going to be right about 90, a huge difference that you will take note of. Here's our sky camera down in Salem, 59 degrees. Rose City camera, 61. Winds are light. It's a nice morning. And then we have those hot afternoon hours, 75 degrees at noon, getting up to about 90 for a high. And this looks to be day one of about 3 days of temperatures that potentially will be near 90. Don't forget, we have the heat warnings out in the gorge for highs of 100 to 102 out in the Dalles later this afternoon. Here's Chris.
Toasty. All right, Rod, let's get you out the door. A quick look at some of the traffic cameras across the region. There's the Sylvan Hill Highway 26 right there near Skyline Boulevard. The sun's kind of right in the driver's eye there, too, so that's probably adding to some of the slowing. Let's take you up to Clark County. I-5 now a little heavy at the Interstate Bridge, and that's to be expected for this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. 20 minutes gets you in from Main Street south I-405. Staying on the Washington side of the Columbia, heads up out in Skamania County starting at 8 o'clock. They'll be alternating one lane of SR 14 over the Hamilton Creek Bridge here from 8 to 3:30 as they do some bridge work. Guys, that will create some delays out there. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Here's a look at our local news headlines this half hour. A man died over the holiday weekend after crashing on a bike in Portland's Washington Park. Investigators say he was riding a BMX-style bike downhill near the reservoir on Sunday when he crashed trying to squeeze between two boulders. Police say he was with a group and was not wearing a helmet.
Investigators are working to figure out what caused a 74-year-old woman to drive through the front entrance of a grocery store in Seattle, killing one person. The driver and two other people, a mother and child, were injured. All three are expected to recover. The driver is not being detained at this time, but police say that they are reviewing surveillance footage and awaiting her blood results. Another woman, identified as Sheila Stanton, was killed in the crash. Stanton was an active member of her church. Our sister station Seattle spoke with her pastor.
Sheila is as present to us and will be as present to us every Sunday when we gather together as she was when she was here. So Sheila has not left the building.
The grocery store remains closed indefinitely as crews repair the damage, and the investigation continues.
The Emigrant Fire, burning to the south of us, about 20 miles southeast of Oak Ridge, has burned roughly 22,000 acres at this point, and it's still 0% contained. Smoke from this fire caused air quality issues on and off over the weekend in both Deschutes and Klamath counties.
With the unofficial end of summer, local real estate agents spent the holiday weekend holding open houses, hoping for some foot traffic. They say that there's a lot of homes for sale right now. Adding that for the first time in more than 10 years, it's a buyer's market. But it appears that a lot of buyers aren't in a rush. Some are happy to stick with current properties longer, in part because of higher interest rates. Realtors say many homes are sitting an average of 80 days on the market.
They have options. Buyers can keep looking, and they know that they don't have to hurry to get a property under contract.
This has been somewhat of a what-if economy, and the what-if is that after uncertainty, good things happen.
Realtors say tariffs, among other things, may have people thinking twice about big commitments, though those we talk with believe that things are starting to turn around with more substantial changes coming sometime next year.
Millions of kids across the country who were born at the start of the pandemic are heading into kindergarten this school year. A total of 3.6 million U.S. babies were born in the year 2020. So on the latest episode of KGW Straight Talk, Stephanie Domerat talked to an early childhood education expert about the pandemic's impact on kids.
I mean, you talk to educators, I talk to my kids' own teachers, but you talk to educators across the state, and there's a lot of emphasis on the social emotional learning. There's a big concern that the big behavior we're seeing in schools is a result of not enough kind of socializing in the younger ages before entering school.
You can watch this full episode of Straight Talk anytime, right here on KGW+. We know there's still no school yet for the thousands of kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District, and that's because district leaders pushed back today's rescheduled first day of school.
So last Tuesday was supposed to be the first day for Evergreen students until a group of classified workers the district went on strike. KGW's Celine Stevens has the latest on negotiations between the district and the workers.
This isn't about hurting kids. This is about trying to help kids in many different ways.
While Tuesday was supposed to mark the first day of school for kids a part of Evergreen Public Schools, that's no longer the case. Monday, the union that represents paraeducators, bus drivers, and other support staff attended a Labor Day rally in the park right beside the school's district office.
We're not getting the help we need. We're not getting the pay we deserve. We're not getting the safety precautions we need.
The district presenting their final offer to union members last week, which the union rejected.
Our insurance on average is going up over $65 a month this year, and the raises that they're offering us will barely cover that. And it's not about money, but it is about being able to continue to do the work.
There aren't enough pairs to serve the special needs students that we have.
There was no movement happening this holiday weekend either, after the union demanded that the district employees on the negotiating team not get supplemental payments for bargaining outside of regular work hours. The district rejected that demand.
It was the union's position that if we're broke and you need us to take less, then you need to take less as well.
However, the district telling KGW supplemental payments are legal, but they were not paid this weekend. Classified employees on strike with the district saying they need better pay, staffing, and protection, but their passion for their job is what keeps them going.
Sometimes we get attacked by students. A lot of people don't know that we're kind of like the background of the school. They know the teachers, they know the administration. We're the ones that help keep the students calm, help keep the students working.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Meantime, students in the White Salmon School District will be released 2 hours early today because of the heat. The Stevens and Carson School District will also be releasing students 2 hours early today, though it's not clear if that's also due to the heat. Portland Public Schools are back on normal schedules, though, today after releasing students 2 hours early last Friday due to the heat. PPS saying it does not anticipate any weather-related alterations to the schedule for the rest of the week, though if that changes, it will be communicated to parents. The district says over the weekend it installed 15 temporary AC units across its hottest schools. 13 of those are currently up and running, with the remaining 2 set to be finished this week.
I think most of our viewers would agree, Rod, that 90 degrees is hot. You've got 90 in the forecast today, back again on Wednesday. But after that, if we can get through these next 3 days, there really is a cool down.
Yeah, right now we've got us in the 70s for the weekend. We do have some spotty storm chances also show up starting tomorrow. Here's the air quality. We've been looking at this occasionally because of the wildfire smoke, mainly east of the Cascades. We've had a smidge of that haziness here in the valley at times. And the air quality yesterday wasn't really that bad. It was improved. And this morning's numbers are improved as well. Mostly good. The green dots up and down I-5, and mostly moderate across the rest of our state. Of course, we've been watching Deschutes County where the air quality was unhealthy much of last week, but again, it's really improved. Here's a hazy, sunny start. This is the camera in back of the Sun River Main Resort there. That's Bachelor just sticking up. You folks, sunny skies. Temperatures will be up into the 90s today. In fact, even Sun River could hit 90 for a high temperature. Here's the Oregon Zoo up in the West Hills, and it'll be a warm afternoon to be out and about. 60 degrees, certainly a pleasant morning underway. To the bus stop we go. Mid-60s throughout mid-morning, and then 75 degrees at noon, and then up to about 90 around the time the kids get out. So again, think about dressing for the middle of summer, so to speak, today. Temperatures 50, mostly 50s at this hour. We've continued to cool, so that's nice. 58 degrees in West Lynn. Again, the winds are light, which helps you cool overnight. In fact, it's 53 degrees out in Yamhill County, the McMinnville. And here come the hot temperatures. Inland areas generally near to up into the 90s with a few spots, including the Dalles, getting up to 100 degrees this afternoon. Hood River will be close to 100, 60s and 70s at the coast. And the 3 days that Drew mentioned, 90 today, 88 tomorrow, 90 on Thursday, and then 82 Friday and 70s in the weekend. A spotty storm chance tomorrow, and then we'll pick up some scattered shower chances again on Friday and Saturday as we get you into the weekend. And that is your update. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you down to Marion County. Just getting word from ODOT about a crash on 99E just south of the Brooks area. It looks like we've got one lane blocked. And as you look at the traffic map here, again, it looks like we've got some significant slowing now both directions. Again, 99E just south of Brooks. The road remains open at this point, but obviously we've got some slowing out there. Let's get back to the freeway drive on the interstate system anyway. Northbound I-5, pretty heavy over the Boone Bridge from Charbonneau up and over the bridge into Wilsonville. You're puttering along there at about 15 miles an hour. And then farther north, it slows up near the 205 interchange in Tualatin. Last but not least, the check through North Portland, of course, slow and steady says it there as well. Your I-5 drive from Clark County leads the way, 21 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Drew, China.
Thank you, Chris.
Why?
Whoa, that's aggressive. What we're looking at here is a Sasquatch calling contest in Maine that was actually started by a man from Washington. We're going to hear from that man who says Washington turned him into a Bigfoot believer. The Sunrise Show, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues in 2 minutes.
Clap.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
I thought we were going to hear from that second guy, too.
I did, too.
You want to tell me if we heard from that second person in that video, what do you think he would have sounded like?
Just like that.
With the big smile on his face, too. What we're talking about here are the sounds of Bigfoot. Efforts put forth in a Sasquatch calling contest that happened in Maine.
Now, when you went to college for journalism, did you think that you would say that last sentence?
I hoped, but I didn't think it, no.
Okay. Well, the founder of this contest used to live in Washington, where he says he became a big Bigfoot believer. And Grace Bradley spoke to people who not only believe in Bigfoot, but they like to sound like him too.
many Bigfoots do you think are in Maine in general?
Hundreds.
That's Kevin Warner, a member of the Maine Bigfoot Foundation since 2021 and judge of Saturday's Sasquatch Calling Contest.
And the foundation's goal is just to get some recognition, about Bigfoot. People have had encounters or they've seen footprints, and a lot of people don't talk about it because they just think, they're gonna think I'm crazy.
There's one that I was standing in, and then I got that one. That's just a young juvenile.
Have you seen a Bigfoot before? Do you believe that they exist? Do you believe that Bigfoot exists?
Yes.
How come?
Because I went and lived in Washington State for about a decade as a disbeliever, and after being out there and then spending lots of time in the woods, let's just say I'm no longer a disbeliever.
I think what it is bringing more awareness that, you hear out in Washington State all the time, Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. But the terrain out in Washington's a lot like Maine.
After a fierce competition, 7-year-old Gannon walked away with the Bigfoot bragging rights and $100. And how do you feel knowing that you won?
Great.
Whether you're a Bigfoot believer or a Sasquatch skeptic, the calling contest was evidence of a connected community.
So this is all family here. We all love each other, we enjoy the lake together, and we like to get together and have a good time.
It's just to get everybody together. Ever since television in 1927, we've got it all wrapped up at staying home. Well, let's get out and meet our neighbors and socialize, have a few barbecues and a beer together.
Again, that report comes to us from Maine. Maine is part of the U.S., right?
We're trying to verify that.
How disappointing would it be if Sasquatch actually sounded like this? Hi!
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
I was thinking the same thing. Mine was, we were like,
Okay, I just have to mention this meme that I saw over the weekend. It said, what if God came down to earth for just one day and was like, it's pronounced Jod, and then just went back up?
might I remind you, God is here on earth with us every single day.
That killed me. I thought that was hilarious.
Rod, we turn to you.
Thank you. What do they call that? The Sasquatch meeting? What was the name of their group? Do you guys remember? They had a name for their group.
We're still trying to verify if Maine's a state.
Well, okay. Anyway, I got thinking, how much are the dues to be in this group? That's what I got stuck on.
Is your answer.
We're talking hot weather. All right. So this is a projection at 5 p.m. today. Shows St. Helens 87, Vernonia 83, but low 90s in Hillsborough and Portland. Woodburn 93, Salem 93, has Carson 92. Hood River 100 has the Dalles at 103. So the top story today with sun and dry weather everywhere is that this is day one of what looks to be 3 of temperatures back up for some of you, the Dalles, good morning, near 100. And for a lot of us, Portland, Salem, Central Oregon, Eastern Oregon, at least around 90 and in some cases above. Here's the dry satellite picture. Here's the dry futurecast. It does show, notice how the cloudiness, I'm going to play this. This is tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to play it into Wednesday. Notice how these clouds just kind of start really moving back over the Cascades, pushing back to the west, back to the northwest. And you saw some storms late tomorrow around Bend and Bachelor. There's a fading thunderstorm around Mount Hood. This is a similar thunderstorm flow potential that we saw last week, a week that had storms in our area 3 days. So we're back into that. Can't track it, can't time it. I can just tell you it's possible. Possible that we'll see some spotty storms in the valley starting tomorrow with another chance on Friday into Saturday. All right. Today, though, it's all about sun, dry weather, and warming numbers. Here's Snookwind Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 50 degrees, expected to be in the 60s to low 70s at the coast. Mount Hood, a warm start, 66. It's warmer up at Timberline this morning than it has been down here in the valley. East wind at the lodge, some breezy winds to 18 early this morning, but we have light winds here in the city, a light northwest wind, and 61 degrees. Temperatures, 61 up in Seattle, same as Portland, same as the Dalles. Cool spot out in Burns where it's 45 this morning. And here's that gorge forecast. Technically, the Weather Service has Hood River under a heat advisory, 97 today. And you folks in the Dalles, a heat warning for a temperature of 101 with light winds. So again, that's, middle of the summer hot weather type stuff, right? Salem 91, Corvallis 91, McMinnville 92. And keep in mind, we've been pretty cool the last handful of days. It was only 78 in Portland yesterday. So 90 will feel that much hotter, I think, to us once we start heating up this afternoon. This shows Battleground at 90. I've got Portland at 90. A spotty storm chance tomorrow, 88, dry 90 Thursday. And then we start to cool off going into the weekend. A shower threat 82 Friday, a shower threat 77 Saturday, a dry Sunday, and in the 70s with a shower threat on Monday. And here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thank you for that. Let's get you back to Marion County. Earlier crash on 99E in the Brooks area. Looks like it's still causing some delays here, both directions. It's about 2 miles south of Brooks. And as we throw the speed sensors on there, you can see some local slowing both ways. So the road remains open, but watch out for the response there. Farther north, of course, the drive slow and steady from Wilsonville up to Tualatin. And yeah, it's heavy heading over the Abernathy Bridge as well between Oregon City and West Lynn. This is a live look in the Gladstone area on I-205. Both lanes there kind of thick heading down between Oregon City and West Lynn right now. At last check, you're tripping from Troutdale on I-84, 30 minutes to get you to the I-5 split. Drew, China?
Thank you, Chris. From high-tech cameras to simple light-up signs, after the break, we'll have a look at what WashDOT is doing to prevent wrong-way car crashes.
Hey, I'm the best. And tonight at 6:30 on The Story, a detox center is being proposed for a building right next door to an elementary school in southeast Portland, causing major concern among parents. Why those behind the project say it's the only site they could find that would meet state requirements. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, welcome back to Sunrise. Next up this morning, we're talking about the deadly consequences of wrong-way crashes. So Chris is here to talk about that, specifically the number of deadly crashes, wrong-way crashes in the state of Washington.
Yeah, so in Washington, wrong-way drivers are involved in 8% of fatal crashes. That's tied with Maine and more than double the national average, which is 4%. Actually, in a 5-year period between 2017 and 2022, WSP recorded nearly 500 wrong-way collisions. So this summer, WashDOT has actually gone out and installed some low-tech and some high-tech at various intersections and on-ramps across the state to help curb those numbers.
Washington State is tied with Maine that has the highest number or highest percentage of fatality collisions that involve a wrong-way driver. So once that study came out, state legislators like, hey, what can we do to help address it?
Lawmakers responded with $2 million for solutions, some high-tech, some low-cost.
And it was broken into two different parts. Part of it was to identify technology that can enhance our ability to immediately detect vehicles traveling the wrong way. And the other part was, hey, can we improve roadway markings and signings? But those low-cost enhancements, we can place those in several other locations that aren't getting the technology upgrades.
This summer, WashDOT installed detection systems at 4 high-risk ramps across Clark County, including SR14 at C Street and northbound I-5 at 179th Street, chosen because of frequent wrong-way driver reports.
When a car traveling the wrong way enters the first detection zone, it activates the flashing wrong-way signs and hope to get the driver to realize it and self-correct.
If the driver continues into the confirmation zone, WashDOT jumps to action.
We already know where it's at. We get an email with the actual video of the car traveling the wrong direction, and we're able to pull up our cameras and track the movement of the vehicle in real time with instant notification to law enforcement.
That instant alert shaves minutes off response time, a critical difference when lives are at stake. But WashDOT says technology alone won't solve the problem.
So roadway safety starts really with everybody who drives the car, right? We want them to be responsible. We want them to stay alert, stay positive, and do everything they're supposed to do. But with the technology and the partnership, we should be able to hopefully solve this problem together.
So technology like this has been installed in Florida, Arizona, and Connecticut. WashDOT says that they will continue to test vendors statewide to find the most effective system before considering a larger rollout. China?
Chris, thank you for that. People held hands along the interstate bridge to bring awareness to addiction and recovery. September is National Recovery Month, and the event at Jansen Beach, that is, brought people out from both sides of the Columbia.
We want to shine light on recovery, and we want people to know who are suffering from addiction that there is help out there. We are waiting for people to come in and find connection and find help and find services, and there's a lot of funding out there.
Hands Across the Bridge has been going since 2001. Next at 8 o'clock, Portland's newest homeless shelter is targeted by vandals just days before it's set to open. We'll show you the damage and what's coming next for the city.
Yeah, and every year the scars go away more and more, or they're less seen.
5 years after one of Oregon's most devastating wildfires, many families still rebuilding. Coming up in our next hour, we're going to hear from one of those families how they lost everything and the rebuilding that came after.